As we head into election season, we can expect to see plenty of political ads.
Yeah, but in some cases, will we be watching an actual candidate or a deep fake that's been created by an opponent using artificial intelligence?
All right, Arthur Chan has more on what the government's doing to make sure the public knows what's the real deal and what's fake.
The urgency over AI-generated deepfakes is intensifying this week. The latest victims are some high-profile ones, including actor Tom Hanks, posting a warning to social media that a video that's been circulating promoting a dental plan is not him, and that his image was used without his permission. And during Friday's storm, Governor Hochul signed into law a ban on pornographic images generated with AI without the consent of the individual. Whether private citizens or public figures, the technology is getting so good, it's scary.
What does this have to do with kidnapping old Elon? Don't they know it would have been easier to just deepfake me?
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
Some of these deepfakes may have already come across your screen. They look convincingly real, but they are actually deepfakes created by artificial intelligence, a tech trend becoming all too common and one that poses serious threats.
Nothing could have prepared me for her response that she gave me next. Mom, these bad men have me. Help me, help me, help me. She begged and pleaded as the phone was taken from her.
Arizona mom Jennifer DeStefano shared her horror story during a Senate Judiciary hearing in June. She says she got a phone call from who she believed was her daughter, saying she'd been kidnapped and her abductors were demanding money.
It was my daughter's voice. It was her cries. It was her sobs. It was the way she spoke. I will never be able to shake that voice and the desperate cries for help out of my mind.
The same twisted criminal phone scam is targeting parents right here in New York. The voice cloning program can be made to sound like any child in distress. Scammers can sound like anyone we know by just using a few clips of the real person's voice. Americans were swindled out of $8.8 billion last year through fraud schemes, which the FTC says is rapidly learning how to make deep fakes. With election season quickly approaching, deepfakes bring a new set of dangers.
And to be honest, I'm not fully aware how prepared they are.
Todd Helmus is a behavioral scientist with Rand Corporation, and he believes deepfakes in campaign ads will be used against both Democrats and Republicans.
And Congress is, of course, stymied by partisanship and its ability to implement new laws and new regulations. So I don't think the government's prepared for this.
New York Congresswoman Yvette Clarke is proposing a bill that would require parties to simply disclose the use of AI-generated content in their ads.
Right now, what we're seeing on the internet, unfortunately, is the Wild West of the internet. There aren't a whole lot of guardrails up for protecting the American people in many respects.
Clarke also wants to require watermarks for any synthetic images created. It is an idea Google is already acting on. Last month, the company unveiled a new tool called Synth ID. It embeds an invisible digital watermark into computer-generated images. Synth ID can also scan incoming messages. It is in testing phase at the moment.
What these watermarks basically do is they're imperceptible to the naked eye, but they can be machine read, and they basically identify the extent to which content is original or not original.
Intel is working on another type of technology. The company introduced its fake catcher. Last year, they claim it's 86% accurate in detecting fakes by focusing on eye movement and blood flow.
What makes us humans? The answer is in our blood. When your heart pumps blood, our veins are changing color, and that color change is called photophotosmography, PPG for short.
Leaders from the tech industry are also working with lawmakers. 3 weeks ago, several of them joined a group of senators for a closed-door meeting to discuss the need for more regulation.
I think something good will come of this. I think this meeting may go down in history as being very important for the future of civilization.
At the end of the day, everybody in the panel believes that government has a regulatory role, and that's going to be the challenge.
As the U.S. races to catch up on regulating AI, across the Atlantic, the European Parliament has already taken significant steps.
And it is adopted. Congratulations.
They passed a draft law back in June that would place restrictions on AI. A final law is still in the works there. Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.